Okay, now we just spun down. There was something else, a question that somebody had, and I was going to answer it, and then I digressed to the payroll reports. Does anybody remember what it was?
What was it?
The audit trail.
The
Audit trail.
audit log.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Okay. All right. Audit log. Everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Audit log is up under the gear. It is permanent. It does not go anywhere. It is always on. If you are an accountant user, you'll see your name. If you have a team, you will see your team member's name. Your client will only see your firm name, whether it's you or a team, which is nice. So the client, if you're outsourcing and you haven't told your clients, they're not going to be able to tell that somebody else was working on the books. It's just going to show your firm name. Okay. When you are looking at the feed, it has just about, but not every kind of transaction or change that happens in the system. You will see automatic things like automatically updated. You'll see the user will say system administration or online banking administration. So these are all automation things happening in the background. So you can literally see what QuickBooks is doing versus a human being, which is totally nice. As you are looking at the list, because this list is, let's see how many pages, 70, 74. No, it should have more than that. Oh, it's because it's filtered for this month. Aha, never mind. All right, hold that thought. So under users, everybody who is either the primary admin, company admin, anybody who goes into the books from the company, from your company, everybody who has a username is going to be here. Notice that there's even support representatives. I've had help from people on the back end. I don't think they do it as much anymore, but they used to actually go in with you on the back end. And so there's support representatives sometimes. So this is nice because then you can filter and find just things changed by one particular person. There's also the date range. It's defaulted to this month, but it could be this year, last year, the last 7 years. So it is, I misspoke when I said it's indefinite. They're only keeping 7 years of history. If it's older than 7 years, it's going to go away. Your search returned more than 10,000 results. So now that I've got that on 7 years, I can go in and find the users and what each person did. So here's things that Alicia did. Here are things that the system administration did. Yeah, so you can filter by who. Then you can also filter by types of events. Or is it something related to a transaction? Is it things for budgets, forecasts, data imports, voiding and deleting transactions, making changes to lists, making changes to permissions, doing a reconciliation, creating or working with recurring templates, revaluating the currency, customizing the sales forms, changing the settings, signing in and signing out, generating statements, making timesheets, creating sales orders, working in projects or manual eliminations, which is a remnant of the consolidated reporting, which is actually, I thought, just in Intuit Enterprise Suite. So I'm curious to know how that showed up here. So I'm guessing some sort of programming oversight. So it's pretty cool. If I just want to know who signed in and out, I can see who signed in and out. Okay, so that's the finding of the things. Then when you go in to a transaction, let's find something that I edited. Okay, so you can see here also whether they completed a deposit, they edited a transaction, they added a transaction. So you can see what kind of action they took. I'm going to go into editing. Let's edit a credit card credit. So I'll go in and I'll view it. And it opens it up. And is my resolution okay? Everybody can see okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and somebody else. All right. And now, so you have a hot link directly to open up the transaction. If I click on it from here, it will, of course, leave what I'm doing, so I don't want to do that. I will generally do that by right clicking on it. That's not even giving me that option. Can I drag it? Can't even drag it. Okay. So
I'm sorry, Alicia, what are you trying to do
I'm
at the
trying to open it up so I can look at it while I'm looking at the audit trail, and I can't. Okay. So now I
Except it
can
lets you
see,
copy it and you can put it in a new tab.
let's see if that works. That's not even working for me. What I would probably do at that point is duplicate this tab so that I can have them side by side if I needed to. But all right, so now we get to see all the stats about it right up at the top. But now when you look at it, it puts all that same information in a table going from left to right. So I can see the transaction line number, the description, customer class, taxable, billable, markup, cleared, anything that was actually in the transaction. Now, here's the part that changed is highlighted in green. So I can see that it was changed to not clear and travel was changed to owner draw. And then down below it, so that was at on January 29th. Here on January 21st, it was when it was created. And then here I can see the status. So it was originally entered as travel. It wasn't cleared or matched to the banking feed, but then it got matched to the banking feed and got changed to owner draw. So that's how you can see. And then if you have something that's been changed a lot, you're going to be able to see one after another. Under the open versions, now you can see the whole transaction history and it will jump you through. So this one was only added once and edited once, but if somebody's been in and out and changed it and viewed it and done things to it, you're going to see a whole list of things here. And then if you want the original, you scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Now, Alicia, what is the difference between looking at this log here versus what you were talking about with the hot link? What does the hot link do?
The link is actually opening up the transaction and looking at the transaction,
Oh,
but you only see the
okay.
most recent.
Yes, yeah, this is what's in the system as recorded.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's what the hot link does. It takes you to the actual transaction, the current transaction.
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Okay.
And you can get from a transaction to the audit history by in every transaction, there's an audit history down at the bottom so that you can get there as well. Let me see if I can find a transaction that was changed a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to.
I'm always going to one of mine.
I don't think you have any action in this.
No, not in that one.
Oh,
Especially early on in my bookkeeping days.
You must just play around with this stuff all the time to know all this.
yep, all the time. I also, since my specialty is the troubleshooting piece of it, I know as much as I do mostly from just trying to figure out what something did and how did it get here. And then what do you do with it and how do I fix it and what's the best tool to use to fix it in the least amount of steps. I hate doing anything more than once, so I'm always trying to find like the most efficient way of getting in there. And so I'll click on everything until I discover what I'm looking for. So here's an example where something was added by the online administration. So that came in from the banking feed, is what that one means. And then here it was originally it was auto added with a rule, but for some reason I overrode the rule, is what that one means. It's possible I deleted it and re-added it. It's possible I just changed something about it. I don't remember exactly what made that change. And then the third change is changing it from job materials to office supplies.
Does this audit trail compare to desktop? Because desktop, there's some columns that are not included, so you can't see them all. You can add them. I believe you can add them. I think so. So are there more columns that you can add or exclude on the audit trail, the audit history like this, or are these pretty?
Yeah, I don't see. Oh, I have one more thing to say there. I don't see any way of turning on and off the different columns, so I think it's giving you all of the relevant columns.
Okay.
I'm not seeing like the memo column or the memo box down in the lower left. I'm not seeing attachments, but so I don't think it makes an audit log entry if you attach a transaction, but I'd have to
Okay,
play with
yeah.
it.
So memo is not included here because that's what ends up changing a lot is memos, I feel. Not, I shouldn't say that.
So the description line is there, but the memo line is not.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's description. It's just the memo box. That's
Gotcha.
not here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there is, in addition to looking at it as a timeline view, there's also a comparison version right here where you can select any two and compare them. So let's look at how it was originally brought in and what changes I made. And so here, this would show me all the changes that were made, and it's just this one. But then show changes only is nice because this will just show you what changed and get rid of all the rest of it.
Alicia, isn't there such a thing as an audit report, audit log report?
Yeah, there sure is. I'm going to go in the long way instead of just searching for it because I think it's valuable to see where it is. So the audit log report is down under the For My Accountant section. And then here's where is it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not right there. Where's the audit report? You guys hear that? No? Okay.
I heard a little buzz.
Hear a little buzz. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I use my phone for my camera, so my phone is ringing. All right. So it looks like
That kind of looks like the other screen.
that's definitely not the audit report. Here we go.
Okay.
Standard report audit log. No, it's just taken into the audit log. Okay, so once you have, let's experiment with that. So I do see that because we went in through the report that we now have an export to CSV and a print button and these columns. Let's go look at what this turns out to look like. Hang on a second, I want to try one more thing. Yeah, interesting. Okay, there used to be an audit log report. So let's see what we get. So here's a CSV of the audit log. And so here's a report of each date and who and what type of change it was. So there's a CSV. Let's say I wanted to know all the times that I ever changed or deleted or voided a transaction.
That's one of my favorites because if you accidentally delete something, you can recreate it from here.
Yes.
I'm with you, Brenda. Yeah. Very helpful.
So we saw what the CSV does. The print page is very simply going to turn this into a report. So there's a way of generating your report. Now, if you wanted to know what the changes were, I don't think you get to put that into a report. But if you did want to know, okay, what is this transaction that I deleted? Now you can go in and you can see everything about it so that you can recreate it. And then this has a printout. So here's a report showing you the before and afters. Just pretty much it's just a screen report, really.
Okay, thanks.
In the green is what it was, and then you changed it to something else.
The green shows what the change is. So it crosses out what was there and green's what is new.
Okay.
So this is telling me it was to be deposited and I made the deposit. So that's the change that happened here was that this was in undeposited funds and this was moved and it was deposited to the checking account. And because it was made into a deposit, now there's an ID number. Okay, hold that thought about ID numbers. I want to talk about that. So give me a second. But the other thing I wanted to point out about deleted and voided is that in the accountant's toolbox, you do have voided deleted transactions, which simply takes you to the audit log and pre-filters it for deleted and voided transactions. Okay, so you can go in and this should honor whatever no, I guess not. Change that and then see all your deleteds. Now, ID numbers. This is kind of cool. All right. Every transaction has an ID number. In this case, oh, here it is. So the ID number is up here. The ID number is created when you save a transaction. This is not a field on the transaction. This is in the database. So in the back end data tables that make up any software like this, I don't know how much you guys know about databases at all, but I actually used to be a database administrator. That's actually where I cut my teeth on computer geeking out. And whenever you build a data table, basically what a data table is, it's pretty much like a spreadsheet of this information. It's here, row and cell of all of the information. But every row has to have a unique identifier that's different from all the other ones, which is like naming the row so that you can cross-reference it in other fields. And in relational databases, it would be like, what's a good way of explaining this? So we have this expense transaction right here. And if I was running a report where I was doing a report on meals and entertainment, and it was drawing the information to tell me who the description was or who the vendor was, the two places where that is stored would be linked by this number, by the transaction ID. Does that make sense, or should I say it in another way too?
Can you like search for this ID? What do we need to know about the ID?
So there's nothing on the front end where we spend all of our time except the audit log right here. But if you look in the URL, see up here, transaction ID 11729. So that's how QuickBooks is identifying the transaction. And let me go just grab any other transaction in here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So a center doesn't have a transaction ID. This is just the bills screen. But the moment I open up a transaction, of course, bills was a bad example. Okay, here we go. Until I save it, there's nothing there. But once I do save it, it right now, oh, that's giving you a staged ID. That's not giving you the full ID. It may be that they've changed it a little bit because of the new, because this is the new modern interface. But it used to just be like a short number. Now I'm seeing this big crazy number. So I'm making assumptions that the modern screen has a different numbering system. This is also why I've shown you that trick in the past, that I can copy this URL and then I can be in any window and paste that URL and it opens up that particular transaction. And I do that a lot with cross-referencing transactions between each other. If I'm doing a journal entry to fix this other error over here, I'll open up the transaction that has the mistake, grab the URL out of the bar up here, and then paste it into the description on the journal entry that I'm creating to patch the data error. Make sense?
You actually put the link in the
Yeah.
memo section of the journal entry? Wow, okay.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and continue down this rabbit hole. So I've got a journal entry and let's see, it's accounts payable. I'm just literally making stuff up. This is bad data. I'm just mucking around with fields over here. But what I'm trying to show you is that once I save this, yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's why it's crazy, because this is just a bad example. Let me go find a better example. Okay, now I have a real ID. That thing was just nuts. All right, so if I grab that, I'm going to go back to the journal entry that I was creating. So if I'm going back and I'm like, what was that journal entry for? Why is that journal entry here? And what does this mean? I can copy that link and go paste it into another window and go open the transaction.
Okay, so it's not a live link, it's a copy and paste thing.
It does turn into a live link. Right now, this is not hyperlinking, but sometimes it does, and you can actually just click on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Or you can put that in the memo. If you don't want it in the description, you can put it in the memo. But that trick allows you to cross-reference across transactions, which is very handy sometimes.
Yeah, we found a very complicated change that was made, and it would have been too hard to explain what was going on. But if you could link to the thing and say, this is why this was a problem, it was a real lifesaver.
Yeah. One of the times that I use that a lot, and just 20 minutes ago, I was complaining about having to reverse accountant journal entries. I'll go ahead and I'll grab the URL of the original journal entry and paste it in to the description so that they can go open up what I'm correcting and why.
So if you delete or void the journal entry or whatever, the one that you're replacing, will the ID still take it to the deleted journal entry? Or
If it's
does the
deleted,
ID
you're going
not?
to get, if it's deleted, you're going to get an error message.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. If it's voided, it'll be there. And
Okay,
then you
great.
can use the audit trail to see what it was before it was voided.
Okay.
And that, by the way, is one of my most common uses for the audit trail is, okay, this thing is voided. What was it? And then you can go in and see what it originally was. Just while I'm talking about voiding things, just as an aside, when I do void something, well, you can't void bills. Can you void bills? No, for some reason you can't void bills, and I don't understand why. What can I go void?
Invoice, when an invoice.
Okay, let's say I was going to void this credit right here. Before I do the void, I myself like to copy the original amount into the description before I do the void so that I have some record of what it was without having to go into the audit trail and look. There was a tool, had a right tool void that actually did that. It would copy the void information into the memo so that you can see what the original amount was. And for some reason on my right tool it stopped working and I don't know why.
I thought that QuickBooks actually was doing that for a while, where when you voided it, would say this is voided in the amount of X. I know that they now do put a void message in, but I don't think they put the amount like they were for a while.
I don't remember ever seeing the amount.
I've never voided a credit card transaction like this. Usually I catch them during reconciliation.
I'm just mucking around. I'm not saying
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
oh, here's
Okay.
this thing for me. I'm just like literally finding any transaction to
Okay.
to
Yeah.
to void. So what Right Tool will do is it will take that $2 and actually add it to the memo.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, somebody in my past, when as I was learning QuickBooks, was telling me to do not only the amount but your name and when you did it, so that you have some accountability, but also nobody has to go searching in the audit log to find out who did it.
But on the flip side, it's right there. That might have been necessary in desktop because it was so hard to do, but it's not like you have to go searching. Here it is. Here's all the changes. Here's who made them. So it is
Yeah,
just one
she
click.
was a desktop person.
Yeah. The audit log is more detailed in QBO.
It's improved a lot. It used to be pretty basic.
Really quick on I don't get what the green is the new, right? So why would it be? So the label 0 on the very left of the row?
That's row 0 and row 1 on the credit. So 0 is like
Oh,
the source information,
okay.
and 1 is the row. And if there were multiple rows, I would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so that's a great question, JJ, that this is all the source stuff. And when I say source, what I'm talking about is, no, not that one. The information in the gray area at the top. This is the source and this is the target. And so that row 0 is everything up here, and row 1 was this one right here. And if there was a row 2,
So row 0 is always the source.
yeah. So now let's go back to the audit history And so here's that latest edit, and now here's row 2. So row 1, row 2 in the target, row 0 as the source. This row was added, so it's all green. That dollar amount was changed from 2 to 1.
I've had, like for Amazon seller journal entries, there will be lots and lots and lots and lots of rows.
Yeah, payroll journal entries, e-commerce journal entries, reallocation journal entries can all be hundreds or thousands of rows sometimes.